Hey,
The
Caitlin, how are you?
hello. The plague is hanging on. Just
Uh,
gotta get the clear the mechanism a little bit.
yeah, I
Just
did
we're
my
good.
flu shot on Friday or Saturday, and I just felt a little bit like bleh on Sunday, but I was fine Monday morning. Like, it's
Yeah.
just that whole like, my take was my white blood cells are just reading the new transcripts
They
for flu
are.
season and learning what they need to do should they encounter the bug
Did you
itself.
know that they got to like remove a strain of flu virus because it had been eradicated
Well, for
from
now.
the yeah, I mean,
All right. This is not a
take
political
the win.
podcast. I
Take the
no, that's
win.
good because it's always confusing, right? They look at what the southern hemispheres had, particularly South America for us, because their flu season is our summer because that's their winter,
Mhm.
and they try to guess that those are going to be the strains coming up here, and it's like a crapshoot. Although
It
honestly,
had
I'm
yeah.
better at craps, I think, than they are at predicting flu viruses,
Well,
but it helps. Every time I've
yeah.
had the flu, when I've had the shot, it's been very mild. And before I had the vaccine, like I would get the flu, and it'd be like a 2 week, like if it's truly influenza, like your whole
Mhm.
body knock you on your butt.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, all
Mine's
right.
just a plague from daycare.
Uh,
Like
well,
the
you have,
most recent.
yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
Petri,
I
the
will,
adorable petri dish that lives in my home that's trying to kill me.
yes, yes. So we are going to share our top marketing trends for 2025. I want to sneak that in there, but I do want to come
Yeah.
back to as you're going through the holidays and the new year. I think this airs in December sometime, Zach
Wash your
said.
hands.
Um, wash your hands, of course. We should always wash our hands, right? That's something COVID should have taught us: is wash your hands while you sing Happy Birthday. Um, Although I'm sure there's a Taylor Swift like riff or chorus, Taylor Swift riff or chorus that you could sing that's the right amount of time for washing your hands for
Probably.
60 seconds. But remember, Caitlin, if a child comes up to you and hands you what looks like a delicious treat, like a cookie or a
Don't do
snack
it.
of some sort, it is not a delicious treat. It is probably the flu
Hmm.
disguised as a cookie. So
Here's the things that will
thank them for
happen.
it, throw it away, and wash your hands.
My That won't happen at my house because my kid will have eaten the cookie
Oh,
before she is any measurable distance away from
oh okay.
the buffet of treats.
Well, that's good. We're all allowed to ingest our own germs. That
Oh
doesn't
yeah.
hurt us, so we're good.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, I'm curious to see what your predictions are because we're doing this blind. Like, right, I have mine, you have yours.
Yes.
Zach didn't give us a list of predictions because I think he just wanted to like not put in much effort on this episode. Um,
That's not it at all.
I know, I
Zach
know.
trusts us
Yeah,
and
he
wants to
trusts
know
us
what we
and
think, which is
knows
terrifying.
we probably figured these out 15 minutes ago, or
You
Caitlin is
made a
still trying to come up
mistake.
with her second.
Yeah.
Um, but we're throwing it back old school with a hot toddy, Caitlin.
I
Mm.
know.
Oh,
I know.
this one this is one of the whiskey drinks that I can do, which is
I
weird because warm
wonder.
whiskey just seems really
Yeah.
stupid.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean it's sugar, hot water, citrus spices, whiskey. You can customize it. You can make your own version of a hot toddy.
Hmm.
I think what makes it a toddy is the hot water and the whiskey, bourbon, rye, whatever you put
Is
in it.
it?
I think
I thought it
so.
was just like hot alcohol. It's like what makes it a toddy.
Maybe. I mean, maybe
Who
it could be, but I
who
don't
is
think it would be
toddy?
good with vodka, though. Like, I don't
Oh,
see
ick.
this with a
No.
vodka or a rum. Like, oh, hot rum. Well,
Yeah.
hot buttered rum, I guess. Yeah. Which I think is coming up on a future episode.
Yeah.
All right. So, how do we make a hot toddy? You also
Yeah, this
don't need a
says
shaker. What?
hot whiskey in Ireland. Okay, so I think it is
It is the whiskey.
it just has to be
A hot brown alcohol.
yeah. A
Boom.
hot drink consisting of liquor such as rum, water, sugar, and spices.
Oh,
So really a toddy is any
it's
yeah.
hot booze.
Mhm. Yeah.
All right. Well,
In Ireland you can call it hot whiskey
okay.
and is occasionally called southern cough syrup within the United States.
Yeah. It's how your kids sleep through the holidays. No,
Gosh,
I'm just
don't do
kidding.
that.
No,
That's
you
not good
shouldn't.
parenting.
It's a very
All right.
old thing. All right, go ahead. Boil some water.
So this is yes, boil some water to fill a mug. I like to go old school and put it in a little tea kettle on the stove because I think it's cute. But you could
Ours,
probably just like microwave your water if you
we
want
can
to.
get boiling water out of our espresso machine. There's a water button and it just makes it super hot and
Oh,
it comes
well,
out. It's
not
really
everybody
easy.
has an espresso machine.
I
So,
know.
4 cloves. Cloves are
Mm.
so cute. I didn't know what they like. I knew the smell of cloves, but I didn't know what they are, like what they
Oh yeah, they're like a
are
little
until
star.
yeah, they're like a little seed. 1 lemon peel or wheel, 2 teaspoons of demerara or brown sugar. I would probably do more sugar for me to tolerate this. A 1/4 ounce of lemon juice, freshly squeezed. You can probably get that from the peel and the wheel from previous bullet
Hmm.
points. And 2 ounces of whiskey, bourbon, rye, Irish, or Scotch, at your choosing. Oh, fill a mug with boiling water and let stand for a minute or two to warm. Interesting. Okay, so
Oh, so you don't
there's
want it to be
no.
hot and still boiling when you throw the stuff in. You want it to be
Uh-huh.
warm though.
Well, you want so you're warming your mug so it doesn't, yeah.
Oh.
Meanwhile, stick the cloves into the lemon peel or wheel and set aside. Okay, so we're spicing our lemon peel.
Okay.
Empty your mug and refill it about halfway with fresh boiling water.
That
You're going
makes
to add
sense.
your sugar to dissolve, stir if necessary. Prepared lemon peel or wheel goes in the glass, and your lemon juice and whiskey, and then stir again.
Huh. Okay, yeah, because when I
This is
first read
so
this,
cute.
when it said boil water to fill a mug, I was like, that's too much water.
That's
Like,
too
this
much
is not
water.
2 ounces of booze and like 8 ounces of water. That does not sound good. But okay, fill it halfway. That makes more sense.
Yeah.
Um, this is so easy. I
No,
agree with you. I would want a little more sugar.
Mm-hmm.
I also really love cloves, so I would probably just double that because I'm crazy about that like
Yeah.
bite and that spice.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Could do like a little cinnamon stick probably too, depending on your speed of liquor. If you want
Yep,
to
and I feel like a
garnish.
little bit of nutmeg might not be a
Oh
bad
my
thing
god, I
on
love
top of
fresh
this.
nutmeg so much.
We
It's
had some.
like an uncomfortable amount.
We had a baked sweet potato for dinner last night. That take
Yeah.
I didn't realize those take like an hour in the oven. So
Yeah.
we microwaved it because I was like, and I burnt my finger. It's very burnt. I don't know if you can see that.
Oh, ouch!
Yeah, on the plate in the microwave, it was a little bit nuts. But anyway, we have
Were
the
the
little
potatoes worth
spinny
it?
thing. Yeah, it was good. We had the little spinny thing for the nutmeg, so the nut is just
Oh,
in
I
there,
just
and you
like
just.
to
Zzz.
I like to do it on the rasp because
Well,
it
this
makes me
stores the
feel
nutmeg
like
as
a
well, so.
okay. It makes me feel like a chef. Then I across the
I
yeah,
see.
you know.
Well, that makes sense. Yeah, I could do. Maybe I'll do a hot toddy on Thursday, or
Yeah.
maybe over the weekend. I don't know.
I am going to the movies tonight, so I'm like, maybe I'll just.
Are you going to see
smuggle
Wicked?
in. I am. I'm very calm about it. I'm being very calm.
The gays have a lot of feels when Fierro comes on screen. There are a lot
He's
of
very
feelings that are
pretty.
happening. Also, somebody said I did not have on my bucket list seeing Jonathan Bailey ride into the woods in a TV show on a horse and fall in love with a different girl that he's supposed to twice.
Twice.
And they're like, if I had a
Yes.
nickel for each time, I'd have 10 cents. But also, it's like, oddly enough,
What are the
exact
odds?
same storyline
Yes.
from Bridgerton.
I'm so
But
excited.
yeah.
I
And the interviews, have you seen the interviews with him and
so many.
Oh, now I can't. why am
Ariana
I-
or Cynthia?
No, neither of them. Jonathan Bailey and his new
Bowen
BFF.
Yang.
No, not Bowen Yang. The old dude. The wizard.
Jeff Goldblum.
Jeff Goldblum, yes. God, why could I not remember that? I was going to be like the apartments.com guy. Also, apartments.com, you could advertise on our show. Him and Jeff Goldblum, they're like BFFs.
Because
Like,
who wouldn't
going
want to
through
be
this.
best friends with Jeff Goldblum? He seems like the weirdest, most
Right?
wonderful guy. I
And they
don't
had a
know.
thing where they were like talking about like sort of like, when did you like have an experience where you were like, oh my gosh, I can't believe that I'm here doing this? Because Jonathan was talking about like, Ariana Grande and Cynthia, like they're amazing vocalists and just huge talents. And obviously he is as well, but he's more of a kind of a newcomer for Americans anyway. And Jeff Goldblum said, I just feel that way for every single project I do. Like, why am I here? Who hired me? Like, what am I
Oh,
even doing? And he said, I just try to do the best job I can. And it's like, oh, you do. And we love you.
that's cute.
All right.
I like a humble star.
Mm-hmm. Yes. And we won't get into Jonathan Bailey's Yellow Pants on the Drew Barrymore show, but you can Google that if you want to. There was, yeah. Uh,
I don't know this reference, so I will
there
have
were
to go
things.
Google
Oh,
it.
if you just Google Jonathan Bailey Yellow Pants and click images, you'll see.
I
They
can fill in
he
those
doesn't
blanks
wear loose
probably.
fitting clothing. Let's just leave it
No,
at that.
because he's lithe. Look at him.
Mm-hmm. He's also kind
Yeah.
of short, I think, but
Is he a
um,
petite guy?
maybe. I don't know. I never know. And then I see somebody next to somebody, and I'm like, is the person you're with like 7 feet tall, or are you really
Mm-hmm.
just 5'2"?
Mm-hmm.
Because on TV and movies, you never know. Like, you
No,
never ever
because
know.
it just Apple boxes everywhere.
And I
Everybody's
think
cheating.
in this, like, he's supposed to be smaller, right? Like, isn't that Fiero? He's a Winky. So I
That's
think he's.
Bach. You're thinking of Bach.
Oh, but I thought Fiero was too. But you're right. Bach is small. He's been doing some press as well. The little actor who does him is fun.
Okay.
All
I
right.
don't know. I don't. I haven't seen any of those things. I just, yeah. I'm trying very hard to keep it
Okay.
contained because
Do not sing. The sing along will be coming on December
I
24th.
won't sing.
Do not sing in the theater.
Yeah.
I
I
couldn't go.
got to
would
sing
wanna
in the
sing.
Eras Tour movie. That was sufficient.
Okay.
Like
Fair.
I won't
Oh,
be
her book is
singing.
coming out too.
I'm not an asshole. Like
The Eris Tour coffee
at
table
Target,
book.
Target exclusive. Yeah, I
Yes.
won't be buying that.
I saw her on there with that, and the 4 vinyl albums.
Gotta draw a line somewhere. Not
Yeah,
doing
I
that,
guess.
Taylor. Sorry.
All right. Well, Zach wants us to draw a line here with this intro, so that we can come back.
Shall we
and
do
talk
some
about
trends?
Trends. Yeah. See you in a minute. All right, we are back and ready to prompt some AI, yo.
I still don't have any ice cream, but I'm gonna let it slide this
All
time.
right, you can get some when you're done here. Although you're in the office, we don't have ice cream in
am.
the office, do we? Do we?
There's popsicles in the freezer.
Okay, you could
That's
maybe
not the
substitute a popsicle. I mean, I would text Tyrell and tell him that you want the rum batter, like when you get home.
Chop, sir. As
Except
if he's
he's
not
working. I
also
know.
at work and making significantly more money than I am.
I feel like Carol could make the rum batter if she's at your house right now. It's just like
I
baking.
said, she's cleaning my garage, so I'm not going to interrupt that flow.
Wow. Is
She
she? Oh,
can't
she's
sit
an
still.
organizer, isn't she?
She's an organizer, and she can't sit still.
If you need
So my
to,
dad is finishing a project for us inside of our house, and she's just like scurrying about, being spectacular. I cleaned
Well-
out so much stuff this weekend; it was amazing.
doesn't it feel good?
It felt so good.
If she needs something else to do, or you need to get rid of her for a little while, our basement could use an organizing, and so could my office. Like, I have moved, like, behind me. I showed you, like, it's all neater, but it's all just over here on the other side.
Yeah.
All right, and that's
Behind
something
you
AI
looks
cannot
great.
help me with. I know, like, there's plants.
think
I knew you'd
this is
appreciate
what-
the plants.
This is what we would tell an organizer, though: be detailed and specific.
Right, which is your first tip for prompting AI. And I think that what's interesting is think about what you really want and then put in like a really vague prompt.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's right up there with like, make me a picture of a tree. Okay.
What kind of tree?
There's so many trees.
Where
I
is
can
the
do.
tree?
What style of tree do you want?
Yeah.
So, and same thing with, how do I, whatever.
Mhm.
You've got to be specific. So, what's really interesting, we have several people taking an AI prompting class right now. Are you one of those?
I am.
Oh. And one of the things that I know that came up is like there are some AI prompts that are like pages long.
Yeah.
Like getting very, very, very specific. And it's interesting to see like the more detailed and specific you get, the more likely you are to get an output that fits what you want.
Yeah. I think the most interesting thing that I've learned from that so far, because I am unshockingly a little bit behind the like predicted or projected like course timeline or whatever.
I got kicked out of the course because I didn't start it fast enough. So I said, you can rejoin at any time.
Rich.
I know, I'm terrible.
It's all right. But it was like act as. and so that's been an interesting like colorization where it's like, okay, pretend that you are a 37-year-old woman looking for a new doctor, and here are the considerations, or here are, the health things that I have. Like, what should I be asking? What should I be
Mm-hmm.
looking for? It is fascinating to me the speed at which processing can happen, because it's like these are a lot of these is like things that I could do,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't have the processing capability to do it at scale and at a speed that is efficient. And so it's like, help me be more efficient and process quickly.
Yeah, I agree. It's really wild, like, saying something like, how can I improve my marketing? Like, that's
Yeah.
again, and honestly, asking an agency that, going back to our agency tips
Yeah.
episode,
Yeah.
like, that's not going to get you what you want. But what are 3 effective content marketing strategies for small businesses targeting a millennial audience?
Right.
That will get you,
So much more
yeah.
effective.
And
Yeah.
even honestly, for me, if I want 3, I ask it for 5. If I want 10, I ask it for 15. I want to see, because
Yeah.
there's going to be some stuff in there that isn't working,
Yeah.
or isn't going to work for you. Um,
Yeah.
oh, all right. Oops. I'm just like typing the wrong thing in the wrong window, and I'll just stop now. Um, and I think that, like, and sometimes you can give it more information to be detailed, like give it a URL of a page. You
Yes.
can upload an article and ask it to
Hmm.
summarize. Um,
Yeah.
so those are all, like, the more you put into it, the more you're going to get out of it. The more
Hmm.
specific you are, the better. Um,
I
and
think
one
the
thing,
other, this is like the other kind of hack for AI that I have found. And this actually comes from my husband, where he's like, when you read ChatGPT specifically, it has a tendency to be more like academic, or like
yep,
a higher comprehension level. And so he's like, when I'm writing for certain things, I'll just say like, write it at an 8th grade level,
yep,
which I find really interesting, and
yeah, I
also
did
helps
that.
to like lower the bar a little bit and
Yeah,
make it
so I
sound more
mean,
human.
yep, telling it what education level your audience has, most people will know that.
Yeah.
I do think that, like, getting it to write at X grade level, that's how, like, you're taught when you're in a writing class as well,
Yeah.
like certain things to write at certain levels. Um, and you can actually, if you forget it on the first draft, most AI bots will allow you to revise.
Oh yeah.
Say, revise this at an 8th grade level,
Hmm.
that type of thing, or make this more informal. So I think the other thing, and what I like about what's coming out with some of the tools like HubSpot's Breeze AI, I know that there's a couple of others that have the same thing. You can put your brand voice in. With HubSpot, what's wild, I did our brand voice, because we have Content Hub and can do Content Remix and all that, even though we don't have the social bot yet, or social agent yet. Um, I basically just told it to read our website and tell me what it thought our voice was.
What did it come
And
back with?
it came back pretty accurate, actually. I
Yeah.
don't have it in front of me, but I was really
That's fascinating to
surprised.
me. Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
and I did the same for a client, and I sent it to them, and they're like, "Yeah, that's pretty close. I would just also, like, I want something in there about being, like, a little irreverent or a little edgy." And I'm like, "Okay." I'm like, "Well, just so you
Uh-huh.
know, your current website isn't edgy or irreverent, or it would have come back with that, because those are some of the things that it has."
Yeah.
Um, I've also seen some tools that just have like 6 things for voice, like friendly, open,
Yeah.
formal.
Yep.
HubSpot has like 20 or 30 in there,
Hmm.
which is really nice. But you can
Interesting.
also, if you don't have that though, you've got to put that in your prompt. So anything that it's not already tapping into, it needs to go in your prompt. If you're in
Yes.
ChatGPT, you've got to tell it your voice, you've got to tell it your brand style, those types of
Yep.
things.
Yep.
Um,
Which is actually a really good kind of lead into providing examples of what you want. So you could say, like, read this blog post, provide a link, and then using that voice, make me the next thing, right?
yep. The other one is if you're doing images, the style of the image. And this one killed me because I got to one where they had a drop down of all the styles, and I was like, holy crap. So there's like realistic, there's photo, there's
yeah.
film photo, there's, there's anime, illustrated, like there's like, it was like 20 or 30 different ones. So if you're getting stuff back and you're like, this isn't what I want, look at style. Style and voice are typically things that will hit you.
Yeah.
So the other thing you can do is give it an example. If you have a case study that you want to do on a different topic, you can give it the current case study and tell it to write you something in a similar format about a different topic and let it know. You can also paste a lot of information in there. I think that's a good one for summarize as well.
I actually used that for a volunteer thing. I had like a 900-page document that I needed a summary of. And I said, can you tell me, it was a transcript. I was like, tell me who spoke, tell me the topic that they talked about, tell me the broad themes, and tell me the outcome. And it came back. I mean, it probably took like a minute to just like ingest this 900-page PDF and spit out like main themes. It was amazing and super helpful.
Yeah. And I've, for large documents, like I always joke that if I was like a legislator, I would use it to summarize bills all the time.
Yeah.
Because I mean, you try to read them, but like you hear all the things about like, oh, they gave us this 900-page bill an hour before we need to actually vote on it. Well, guess who can summarize that thing in about 5 minutes? So that's a really good one. So if you have an example, give it an example. And most of the time you will. Like, you can also give it an example of a web page. You can just give it a link to an example. Like, write product information for this new product. Here are its features formatted like this page where I've got another product. So that it gives you stuff that will populate in. You know what I haven't thought of, Caitlin?
Tell me.
If we created a web page with Greek text, like in the placeholder, if it would write on the topics we needed to fill that space. Like I'll bet it would count the characters or lines.
Oh, I tell GPT that all the time. Write me 3 sentences on. Write me, make it shorter, make it longer. Like, yeah.
I was playing with the doing a virtual podcast, like writing the whole thing, but then having an AI voice it. Just to see how you could do that. And so I had to figure out like, okay, if I was doing like a 15-minute, like Barbara Corcoran's is like 15 minutes. It's very fast. She does 3 questions. And it's nice when you're in the car for a short trip. I was like, so I'm like, how many words is that? So I had to go like, look at how many, it's about 2,500 words. So it's like, write me something, 2,500 words on this topic, do an intro for a podcast on it, do a close for a podcast, and announce that the next topic is XYZ.
Yeah.
And it came back with a lot. And then I was like, okay, break it into 3 main topics. And so then it does that. And so then you've basically got 3 4-minute topics, an intro and an outro, and boom, it's a 15-minute podcast episode.
Yeah.
And then you give it to an AI voice that's hopefully realistic and they read it and you could upload. But then I'm like, oh, the ethics of this make me just squirm. Like,
that's been my whole kind of touchiness about it from the get-go. I mean, we talked on our last episode about image generation and what does that look like, and are we protecting our intellectual property, and I'm still cognizant and wary of that, but the thing that has kind of assuaged my nervousness is just the input, like the human input and the speed at which things process. That like I could get to the same result, it just would take me so much longer.
Yeah, I'm 100% comfortable with like researching topics. I'm 100% comfortable with like having it summarize the blog post and do my meta description for me.
Yeah, totally.
Recommend keywords, things like that I know that there's data out there that it's getting and coming back with.
Yeah.
I think I'm still struggling with, okay, even if it wrote the whole like 15-minute episode and I read it and edited it so that it was, because I think that you do need that piece there. and probably send it to a proofreader also. Just that'd be interesting. How good is AI?
How good is AI's grammar?
But
is that an M dash or an N dash AI? You better figure it out.
Like, could you actually do could you do a daily podcast for 15 minutes about a topic? Like, and is that valid information? Is that good information? Is that something that should be done? So that gets into the ethics of AI, which we probably don't have time for today. But basically, coming back around, like giving an example of what you want it to be. There are also things with AI where I know that Content Remix, I mentioned that in HubSpot, they have a case study tool where you can upload like a video interview you did with a customer or a recording of an audio that you did with a customer where you're just interviewing them. You can send it to a web page. You can give it stats, results, whatever, and it will take all of that and format it into a case study.
That's fascinating.
Pulls out key stats, pulls out a quote from your customer from the video or whatever. It's pretty interesting. To see how that is. It's limited now, but I do think that it's just really going to take off in 2025.
Yeah.
I
think this is my other kind of favorite or like refinement tool is asking follow-up questions.
Well, you do that anyway. Tell me more. Tell me more about that ChatGPT.
Did I tell you that Dorothy used it against me?
Yes.
Not against me, but like she repeated it back to me. She said, "Tell me more about that." And I was like, "What is happening?" I thought I had more time before she turned into actually tiny me.
No, you birthed the tiny me, and you're gonna deal with the
I
consequences.
I was so amazed and also so proud, and then mildly terrified. Still just gobsmacked. Wild. Yeah.
That'll be fun. Like if your mom and dad notice that like they're like, Caitlin, she is really a little you. I'm sure they do.
We were with Tyrell's family over the weekend, and they said that because he was a chatterbox, and one of his uncles was like, "Man, she just doesn't stop, does she?" And we're like, "No, she doesn't. We're very tired." And he was like, "Yeah, I mean, you earned that, every bit of it." So anyway, the point is ask follow-up questions.
Well, and I think that the interesting thing is it knows context, right? So years ago, it was like at least 5 years ago, I think Google started doing context. No, it was, oh God, it was more than that because it was when Obama was president. Because that was the example they used.
It's been 84 years.
You can ask a question like, who's the president of the United States of, Google, or even I don't want to say her name, but the one from Amazon, because there's one. She'll turn on. Yeah. I don't need to hear that. But you can ask a question and then you can follow up contextually, like who's the president of the United States, and you can follow up after it tells you with who's his wife, and it knows the his, just like we do, referring back to the president. So these AI chatbots are an expansion of that, and they do get context, so you don't have to repeat your whole prompt. You can revise as you go. But same thing is like, I did one because I was just feeling especially spicy. I asked 10 blog topics on a specific thing. And then I was like, great, write a 300-word blog post for each topic, which is not the way to do it because it was just this giant mess.
Oh, my God.
But it did it. I mean, but then I would have to copy and paste, whereas if I told it to like write a post on topic 1, it would do it, and then I could automatically paste it into a blog post. But I think, go ahead.
The contextual nature and my experience is really with like ChatGPT is like each of those little windows, right, is a conversation. And so you're using the previous information, and this is what makes it generative, right? Is like it's using the context that you've already provided to give you the answer. And as you ask those follow-up questions or add additional information or context, it's adding to that historical knowledge, if you will, or information, and then can come up with a more potent, informational, specific response for you.
Yeah, and you can get more specific. I think price is a good one, especially if you're using it for like a shopping bot. It'll give
Learned
you
that.
everything, and you can say, please refine to show me only things like under $100 or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Or with our, what content marketing strategies for small business, you could have it refine those to be, you could ask it, what would
Industry
it cost me to use an
specific
agency
or
for these? Which of these are under $1,000 a month? If I have limited resources, what's the best way to implement these? You can also sometimes dovetail off of an idea. So you can ask it, you can say, hey, take the second paragraph and expand that into 10 bullet points for me.
Yeah.
So there's all kinds of things you can do when you're asking the follow-up questions. It is my favorite. And you just end up this like big, long conversation, right?
Yep. Yeah.
And eventually it will be. They'll have like a voice chat thing and you'll just
I don't want you to read it to me.
And it'll talk back to you.
No.
We'll be just doing blog posts from the car and never actually reading them. We'll just be hearing them.
I have started to use voice memos more specifically, or like voice to text. I think those have also gotten stronger, but
I do voice to text as well. Yeah, it's gotten much better. I think the Apple Intelligence is fantastic. I've been playing with it on the iPhone with Siri, and it's been doing a much better job.
That's interesting.
Yeah. It summarizes text messages for you. So my brother sent a really long one the other day, and it summarized it in like 8 words. And I sent it back to him. I'm like, this is how it's summarized. And he's like, that's pretty perfect. And I'm like, yeah, so you're just overly wordy. Like you could talk less.
Verbose. That's me.
All right. So I feel like we're good. So hot buttered rum. These are some tips for perfecting AI prompting that we gave you. So detailed and specific. Yes. The more detailed, the better. If you have 2 pages of detail you want to give it 2 pages of detail. Like that's okay. Give us some examples. Examples are beautiful. Ask your follow-up questions. That's really where the magic is. Like sometimes I'll start with a really basic prompt and then I'll just continue to refine and go deeper to get closer to what I want.
Well, it's also like the idea of I know what I don't want, where it's like, and the first answer is not usually what I want. So it's like, okay, you're close in this part, but tell me more here, or
don't reference
leave out
topic
this.
A.
Exactly.
You can actually in your initial prompt give it negative prompting as well.
I remember this. Yeah.
Don't prompt for this. Don't use this. Like you could even tell it things like swear words are okay, or don't use swear words. Don't use overly flowery language, that kind of thing. Be as concise as possible. Like whatever you want to tell it, you're putting those rails on, right? You're quite literally putting it in a box of what it's able to do and not able to do. Yeah. And then you can always expand out. If like it hits on something that like, and you're like, oh, I want more of that. You can ask for
Or I
more.
didn't think about that thing initially. Yeah, for sure.
Or I didn't think that would be in there. I definitely don't want that in there. Please take it out.
Get out. Yeah.
Yep.
As always, you can find our agency at Antidote_71. And if you have a question you'd like to send our way, you can visit ctapodcast.live. Or if you would like to leave us a message and get a cocktail book, Hot Buttered Rum won't be in there, but others are. You can leave us a voice message on our hotline at 402-718-9971. And your question will make it into a future episode. We'd love to hear from you.
100%. And if you leave us your address, we will not dox you, I promise. We don't do that here, but we will send you a lovely book.
No spoilers.
Understanding the nuances of B2B and B2C marketing. So business to business versus business to consumer marketing. So that'll be great with an Italian espresso martini. I am looking forward to that one and finding out what exactly makes it Italian instead of just
the nuance.
Espresso.
See what I did there?
It is the nuance. All right.
See you next time.
That does it for us.
Okay, love you. Bye.